Alright, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It is Richard Flynn. Welcome everyone back to a new Black Clover. Today we're on episode 45, and this episode, it's definitely a lead-up episode. It's definitely leading to the final part of the arc 100%. Mostly just build-up, but it does focus a lot on some character development, mostly with Asta, with Gray, and with Gosh's character. So let's start kind of the beginning of the episode right here. This episode, it just takes back what happened last, of course, of the Vito versus Luck and Magna fight, which was awesome, by the way. The animation was perfect. It was well done. I'm glad about it, just because, reading as, as a manga reader going into this, you're a little bit worried, but it was perfect. And like I said, it just continues off that with Asta and Kyoto, watching Magna and, of course, Luck, doing their powerful move against Vito, and it doesn't work whatsoever. But at least the good and development of this process was that they surpassed their limits. Even though they didn't do any damage to Vito of his character, at least they improved themselves for character development. That's where we even see Yami in this episode here as well. And just like with this arc in total, that it's going to get character development throughout everyone in the Black Bull. So their turn is done, and now Kyoto and Asta step into the fight. With this episode, I'm not gonna lie, I would say the first half, or just the Kyoto and Asta versus Vito fight, the animation was god terrible. It was so bad. I couldn't even describe it. It was like little pixels. It's like looking at an anime and it's not even complete yet. And I don't want to trash this anime whatsoever. I'm just saying, I don't even have any clue to make this. Them putting their blood, sweat, and tears into an anime and just, the thinking and the process behind it, I couldn't even imagine it. But we're getting to that point where we're almost done with the first season of Black Clover. And I would just say, go out with a bang. And I feel like I said, since this is a build-up episode, I feel like they might just be saving that to the very end, because the very end here, it's something that's going to be absolutely crazy, and hopefully it has good animation to it. And the fight, it doesn't really last a lot, maybe I would say 3 minutes. It stops, go to a different part of the episode, and then it kind of continues off in the ending of it. But it was kind of a good fight, and it's looking into Kyoto's character, it's like Asta just a little bit, that he does use swords. It's kind of an Asta but with magic. That's kind of what Kyoto's character is while you see him fighting with Asta, and I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool, and it's weird because they did more damage to Vito than he did with Luck and Magna. But when you look at it as a side, he did use some magic against Kyoto's dad and Luck and Magna, but at least they got a little bit of damage off him. Vito, of course, the powerful guy who he is, he's one of the strongest members of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, takes out Kyoto, and of course Asta, Asta being the character that he is, since he doesn't have any magical powers, he doesn't want to give up because he has friends that he wants to protect, aka, Luck and Magna sitting on the ground there, on the deathbed. So that's kind of their character here, but I'll go to more with the episode. I'll go to Gosh's development. Gosh, starting off, with the anime, he was a character that probably people hate. Even reading the manga, I didn't like his character whatsoever, because he mostly just focused on himself and protecting Mary. That was his character all the way through until we got to his segment, which was the cave arc. But that cave arc is building up more to Gosh's character, and this is what I'm saying, if you are a fan of him or starting to like his character, that since he was a person that only cared about himself and wanted to protect Mary, he actually used teamwork with Gray to defeat this other individual that's part of the Eye of the Midnight Sun. And I know it's a little stuff, and we're probably not going to ever see those characters or those individuals again, but I liked it how they focus a lot on two characters that are part of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, because I feel like this is just anime in general, that if you have these kind of grunts or these goons that are part of an evil squad, or even part of our heroes, depending on what anime you watch, we don't really focus a lot on their characters. It's oh, okay, there's just an anime character right there sitting in the background. It's a little bit cool that they focused kind of somewhat on their character and their magical abilities. For example, when Gosh was reversing that one individual that was using chain magic, and chain magic, by the way, we've seen that before at the starting of Black Clover, how that guy did want Yuno's Grimoire, and of course Asta stepped in to save Yuno. Kind of a little bit of throwback right there. We get to see chain magic again, kind of this guy's ability. He's good, of course, at defense and attack. and Gray comes in with Gosh to use their teamwork here together and defeat them, which is awesome. Great development right here. And of course, when they're walking, because they want to get as many Black Bulls members as they can, because they're versing the Eye of the Midnight Sun. These are people that you gotta take serious. Like, if you don't use, your full magical powers, you're going to die. So they need as much of Black Bull members as they can to defeat the Eye of the Midnight Sun. So of course, when they try to go to Charmy, they get trapped by this guy's vine magic. Of course, this is more development of a grunt from the Eye of the Midnight Sun, and they're at a predicament where they can't get out of this vine magic at all, because they used all their magic against this other individual that they were fighting not too long ago. Or we get to see of Charmy's development in this character here again, which we get to see her big power. This is her power that she used against the witch during the Clover destruction arc, which, don't mess with Charmy. If you eat her food, you're in some serious trouble. And it wasn't even food at all. It was just a big rock, but of course Gray used his transformation magic to make this big wolf of meat that, they're tricking Charmy that the Eye of the Midnight Sun guy was going to eat it, but it was just bait. And you know what, Charmy used her beast magic, and you don't want to mess with her. She is a definitely scary individual when she is using her magic power fully, of course, of that big sheep. And the big thing that we see this episode, I think is the part of this episode that I actually did enjoy, was seeing Gray's true form. Finally, in animation, we get to see it. It's not a he, it's a she. Yes, Gray is a female. She is scared to reveal her true identity around people because she is embarrassed, so she figures that she has to transform to other people to get to like her. So yeah, there we go, guys. Gray is a girl, so hopefully you enjoy more of her character. And it's awesome about this because we do get to see more of Gray's character further down in Black Clover. So yeah, there you go, everyone. More character development, more of the Black Bulls that we get to see with Gray. We didn't even see her age, that she's 24 years old. She's kind of scared, just around Charmy and around Gosh. And I wonder what the other Black Bull members are going to see, because no one has seen her true form. I think maybe Yami, but everyone else doesn't know who she looks like. So I guess she's going to reveal that sooner or later. And then afterwards, we just kind of get back to the fight with Asta and Vito. And then, of course, the other big battle. And this battle, by the way, this is going to be Noelle's last big development. Because I've said this more going into the Underwater Temple arc, that Noelle will get a big development. So this is going to be her last one right here. When her and Kohono join the battle against Vito, watch out for Noelle's character, because her magic that she uses against Vito in this episode, or going to the next episode, it's going to be awesome. And hopefully, for God's sake, they make the animation perfect. And like I said before, this is probably a hard work to do anime. I'm not giving them crap whatsoever. I'm just saying, you're going to the last episodes here of the first season of Black Clover. You got to go with the bang. Even though that this part is going to be great coming up, these fights, but just make the animation a little bit better. That's all I have to say. And yeah, that was episode 45 today of Black Clover. With this episode here, guys, I think I'm just going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Mostly to do, like I said before, I said in this review, was because of the animation. But the story build-up, I like it. We get to see Gray's true character. We get to see a fight coming up between Asta versus Vito. Of course, Noelle and Kohono joining. We get a lot of Gosh's development, him being a better person. And yeah, it was alright. It's probably an episode I'd watch again. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this review here today. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below what you thought of this episode, and what do you think is going to happen of the final of Black Clover if you haven't read the manga. And subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. But that way, guys, we'll see you guys next week for another Black Clover review. Much love, and as always, guys, have yourselves a wonderful day.